Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the ETS Travel Podcast. I'm Bethany, and today we're joined by Kwame. He's joined us all the way from Ghana, also known as the Star of Africa, and I'm going to be interviewing him, and he's going to share some wonderful things about his country with us. So, Kwame, first, can you just tell us who you are and a little bit about yourself?
Okay, hi. Thanks, Bethany. I'm the CEO and director of Sunseekers Tours. I come from a background of business administration, management with psychology, industrial psychology, and marketing, specializing in marketing from the University of Ghana Business School. I've been with Sunseekers since 1994. We started operations in 1992. I'm second generation, so I took over from my dad. He died. I took over in February 2000. So I've been leading the company for the last 25 years. My passion has always been for travel. We have other businesses in the portfolio, the company's portfolio, but my passion has always been on tourism, and the reason being that I think that tourism offers a way to learn about other cultures. It offers a way for people to learn at first hand without necessarily imagining what other people think about. And I believe that that has been my main thing. It's like a bug. I've been for many years very, very much always. I'm most excited to be around the travel industry, trying to push new barriers, trying to come up with new things. So maybe you can say I'm someone who loves travel. I love tourism. I love showing our beautiful country to the rest of the world, Ghana, that is, and parts of West Africa also to the rest of the world. In terms of myself, I'm one of four other siblings. We have 5 siblings. I've got three boys, and I'm married with 3 boys.
That's so awesome. That's so similar, of course, to our company's history that we've talked about on the podcast before. Being a family business, you taking over for your father, and then staying so busy outside of work with your children and family as well. That's just so awesome. So I'm really excited to have you here again. And I would love if you could explain for someone who maybe hasn't considered going to Ghana before, how would you describe it in a nutshell? What are they going to experience when they visit your country?
Okay, so one thing that's unique about Ghana is the people. And it's for most travel companies that do business into West Africa, they call it West Africa 101. It's like your first course in college, because it's very, very easy and safe to get around Ghana. We're English speaking. We are socialized as a people to be very, very welcoming to visitors. We don't, in our vocabulary, we don't have the word stranger. We have visitor. It tells you our mindset. So the people are the unique selling point and the unique selling proposition for Ghana. And for most people that come in, you realize people are naturally friendly. They're not doing that because they want financial gain, but it's because we are socialized. Growing up in almost any Ghanaian home, if you have a cousin visiting, he gets the choicest or she gets the choicest piece of meat. Of course, as a child, you're very upset about that.
Yeah.
Because why should you?
It's like, I live here, Mom. Come on.
Yes. So that's how you get the best places to sleep and everything like that. And it's in our DNA as a people. And and that is how we've taken from our natural DNA into our company, our Sunseekers Tours, and we're proud that after 33 years we're leading tour operator in Ghana, and we also take it very seriously, our culture. One thing you're going to see when you come to Ghana is our culture and our tradition, our way of life. If you realize, I didn't come into into Tampa today with this, but this traditionally represents what I usually wear back home, or a similar, or a safari suit or something like that. We wear a lot of made in Ghana clothes, or locally made clothes now, and it's not just our clothing; it's our way of life. We have a very rich culture, and which has been preserved over the years through a system we call the chieftaincy system. So we have chiefs, we have a king, we have a chiefs, we have a few senior chiefs and the like, and that's a parallel system of governance to the democracy. Ghana is a democracy. We run the same system as the U.S., same presidential system of government, where we have elections every 4 years. You usually have it on the 7th of November or thereabout. We have it on the 7th of December. So we always just a month after you. So we run the same cycle every 4 years, and you cannot run for more than two terms. But beyond the secular government, or the government that that runs a country, if I can say, there's also like how you have the monarchy in England and in Denmark, and we have chiefs who reign, and the king of Ashanti who reign. They don't rule. The rulings by the
government, the elected government. Okay.
But what this does is that it brings a lot of cohesion, social cohesion. It brings a lot of should I say traditional discipline. There's respect for the elderly. Well, with the new generations coming up, of course, this is fast dissipated with the Gen Z. So my sons are 20, almost 21, and 20, and then 14. So I've seen it firsthand. But basically, and traditionally, you revere your elders. You also want to make sure that you are not rude to your elders, and you speak with, and the whole village, if I can say, the whole community takes care of a child. It's not only about financial gain, but there's certain things you make sure that we don't have a strong social security system in Ghana. Like if you're out of business, or you're out of a job, the government gives you money. No, I mean
it's still done in the community.
Yes. Yeah. So we have a very strong social network, and these are things that are being passed on from generation to generation. And we also have what we call the rites of passage. From the time you're born to the time you die, we have different stages of life, and these are all marked by very traditional events like birth ceremonies. When you're born, it's not just a naming ceremony. Naming ceremony is a whole thing. Coming of age, the rites of passage are there, marriage ceremonies, till you die, and the funeral ceremonies. So they're very, very elaborate, and these are all intertwined and interwoven into our fabric. Our very fabric, so that you'll see a modern democracy, you see a modern country, but you scratch just a little bit below the surface,
and there's still a deep respect for all the traditions.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
It's just a whole web of tradition that the modernity is based on. Yeah.
Awesome. So thank you for sharing a little bit about how the government in the modern country is. People always ask about safety. It's always a big deal for travelers. So, can you talk just a little bit more about that? Like, can people just go as tourists and walk around by themselves? Like,
okay. Yeah. So, like I said, Ghana is a modern democracy. So the rule of law works. The police system works. Our police don't even carry guns because it's that safe. It's only like those who have special duties that carry guns and the like. So, and you just take the same precautions like you take back home if you're going to Miami Beach. If I can use that as the biggest.
No, that's an excellent example.
Yes.
For anyone that's been to Miami, there are beautiful, gorgeous beaches, but there's still some areas of town you maybe don't go late at night.
Absolutely. So these are things that we as local operators and partners to ETS, make sure that we orient you on. But basically, it's safe. I mean, it's very safe. You can go around. Of course, you don't go around dripping in jewelry or something like that. That would be
that's not a good idea here either.
all the precautions taken in a big city you do, but we don't have the kind of challenges like maybe countries like South Africa have with their crime rates. No, we're nowhere. We're actually one of the safest large cities. I mean, we the biggest city is Accra, which is a city of almost 4 million people. Kumasi is almost 2.6. The second city, the third city is Takoradi, is about 1.6, and these are big metropolitan areas, but they're very, very safe, and people go around. People don't. We don't have the kind of issues that a lot of the large cities in Africa have. We are very, very safe. And that's what makes Ghana very, very unique, because you have all the nightlife, you have everything, but you can be sure we have an Uber system, we have a local variants of the Uber system, which are also all very safe, so you can move around. And even the regular taxis, they're all very, very safe to move around. So it's a very safe country, very welcoming people. And I see a lot in the US that when everybody's on their phone trying to find their way where they're going using Google Maps. In Ghana, the norm is to ask, where is this? And it starts a conversation. Mm-hmm. The way our way of life, that's a tradition, because traditionally you're living in a rural area, a rural community. There's no sense of time. So people take their time to do a lot of things. Of course, in the cities, it's a bit different. We're all on a time schedule and that sort of thing. But basically, people would ask, "Oh, I want to find my way here." So, okay, go down this road. You see a big mango tree. You turn left. You turn right. Of course, we have Google Maps. People still want to use the traditional way of finding their way. It's a means also to talk to people and also and break down. And there are so many instances of stories of maybe tourists getting lost and then being brought by the kids in the community or the elders in the community to the chief's palace, and then to the police station. Then they link up with their tour group later. So there's so many. Yes, there's so many. I'm sure if you had a survey of 10 people who went to Ghana, 9.5 would tell you that it's very safe and had a good experience.
That's awesome. And speaking of kind of surveys and what people's reactions are, so you've worked with many people, I'm sure, that it's been their first time to Ghana. What's one of the things that just stands out first thing when they get there?
The first thing that stands out for most people is how, from the airport, most people have a certain impression that it might not be a developed country, but we've got all the modern things. We have aero bridges to come into the plane. We have the only thing that's different is that people are smiling and people are welcoming. They may not just say welcome to you, but they'll smile and say, "Hi, how are you doing?" And everybody will say, if you're of African heritage, they may say, "Hi, bro, how are you doing? Hi, my brother," something like that. Or if you're not, also they'll say welcome. And there's a very fond term for maybe people that are not the same color. It's called Obroni. It literally means a white person. So Obroni Akwaba. Obroni, you hear that a lot, especially among the kids and everybody, means welcome, Vista, welcome, so that sort of thing. So there's a sense of welcoming. And what you realize too is that it's quite a breeze going through the whole airport process. In certain countries, I know there are stories of people being harassed in the airport. No, it doesn't happen that way. It's very, very well sanitized, and it goes and you go out, and then that is.
Yeah, so you can go out and there's not like that crowd of people, begging you to take their taxi. No.
It's very well organized. There are airport taxis that are registered to operate out of the airport. You cannot just go out and then people are just tagging you. No. Even if you go around into even the markets, because that's one of the market experiences that we want most people to have. Our markets don't have price tags, and it's intentional. It's a way for you to get to know each other and to break the ice. Because if it's a tag.
Okay, so you can go and barter, like, and have fun with it,
and you bargain, yes. And we give you a lot of tips on how to bargain. Yes, over the years, our company has grown based on repeat business. So every person who comes into Ghana, we try to make them have as good an experience as possible for them to become repeat customers, and word of mouth. So that is the kind of service we're providing for ETS customers as they go along, our clients and tourists that ETS brings in. Your clients would go back and become the ambassadors for ETS, and as the group leaders also for the group leaders to organize future trips. So that's our whole aim, or that's what we aim to do with each person coming there. But you get this experience of knowing that you're in a place where you're welcome, and that's critical.
Yeah, I haven't been fortunate enough to go yet, but Hannah from our staff went and traveled not too long ago, and she came back and she talked about just how beautiful it was. So can you talk about some of the different places people could go and visit and see some of the natural beauty there in Ghana?
Okay, so Ghana has something that's unique about us. We don't have just a one or monolithic product line. We have our culture, our history, and for people of African ancestry, the heritage. Because so then we have the ecotourism, we have the leisure, pure leisure, we have the nature and adventure. We don't have we don't have wildlife in the numbers we have in Southern Africa or East Africa, but all we have is. We have 16 national parks in Ghana. You'll never believe that. Most people don't know that West African countries have national parks. We have 16 national parks in Ghana. And these are all based on conservationism and sustainability. So that's something. I'm starting from what people don't know.
That's wonderful. That's perfect.
Yes. So we have that. So those who have an interest in nature, we have a unique form of ecotourism called community-based ecotourism. The way our tourism is structured in Ghana is that we involve the communities. So they don't feel like they're outside or they're not benefiting from the tourists coming. So all the community, even our hiking trails, our nature trails go through villages, and with the people providing the local guide service, given selling of little snacks and drinks and the like, so that it's community based. It's they feel part of the whole. They feel part of the whole experience and the whole what they see. Then we have our sustainability, biodiversity, and conservationism side. We have our nature, our hiking. We don't have tall mountains, but we have a lot of hiking possibilities and trekking possibilities for those who are active and are looking at doing something different. They've been to maybe other parts of Africa, they want to do something different. There's a chance for you to do camp in villages and that sort of thing, get to meet people in villages and the like. Then we have the faith-based tourism. Faith-based is very big in Ghana because most of West Africa is predominantly Muslim, but Ghana is Christian. Ghana is like an oasis in the whole of West Africa. That is why we seem to have a certain very close relationship with the U.S. over the years, or anything the U.S. is doing, Ghana is central to it. We have about almost 70% of the population being Christian. Muslims are only 12% in Ghana, as against it's the opposite in all our neighboring countries.
Yeah, like Senegal and on the Ivory Coast and places.
Yes, but we are predominantly Christian. So we have from the Pentecostals, the Charismatics, to the AMEs and the Baptist churches. So there's a lot, and a lot of times we've developed relationships with church twinning activities and faith-based experiences where some church leaders have come in and have come to maybe make an impact, or churches have come and twinned with other churches, set up schools, set up all kinds of events, and done all kinds of things in the community. For those who may not know, the first Peace Corps were sent to Ghana by President John F. Kennedy because of the way Ghana was seen as most welcoming. It was the first Peace Corps that were sent around the world were sent to Ghana. When COVID hit, the first vaccines were sent to Ghana. So a lot of things happened that are very unique to Ghana. Hence the word we say the Star of Africa, because apart from that, we are known also as, for those of African American, Afro-Caribbean heritage. UNESCO has proven that most people of African heritage who went from the western part of Africa went out of Ghana. So even more than what you have with the Alex Haley's roots and the like, there were about 60-odd forts and castles between present-day Gambia all the way to present-day maybe Cameroon or on the west coast of Africa. Of the 60 or 60, 70, 40 of them were found in Ghana.
Wow.
And it's not because we're necessarily set up as a slave trade route, but because of gold. We're the largest producer of gold in Africa. And over the years, gold has always been something that's been an attraction for travelers. So, or the explorers.
You already had ports, you already had things set up. Yeah.
Yes. So, of course, they're set up for trading. So when slavery started, automatically they already had the buildings. And some of the UNESCO World Heritage Monuments you see are also some of the biggest slave dungeons. We have the Cape Coast and Elmina dungeons, which are the largest. The first ever European structure of any substance was Elmina Castle, Elmina Dungeons, and open. It started in 1471, finished in 1482. It's the largest ever building of any substance, and of course, it had a lot of space for dungeons and the like. Same way for Cape Coast, which is the second largest. So the two largest are found in Ghana, and of course, so UNESCO has proven through the records that most of us of African ancestry went through Cape Coast or Elmina or had something, and we have people trekking through and may ended up going through Cote d'Ivoire and the like, but they had some impact on Ghana. So Ghana is actually, it's like a base, or it's like your DNA.
Yeah,
your DNA
almost every African American would have had some kind of connection back to it. And that's why a lot of our guests that are going to Ghana, it's been really important for them to go to the coastal area and to go and see Elmina and see that connection back through their past and to learn about it. So that's fascinating. That was perfect. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Bethany, and you'd be surprised to see people who look just like you in terms of your relatives, uncle and auntie, a grandparent, a granduncle, and this tells you your home. Because you get to meet at first hand, you'd see someone going down the street and say, "Wow, this is my cousin also," and it's not by coincidence.
Yeah,
it's because you were either there before or you've gone through there before. And what has even made Ghana even much so welcoming to people of African Americans and Africans in the Caribbean is because of the fact that a lot of the countries, like Jamaicans, are known to come from the Ashanti people of Ghana, the warrior. Like the Maroons in Jamaica are from Ghana. Barbadians are seen to be known from Ghana. Trinidad and Tobago, they are from Ghana. So all these countries, even when you land into the U.S., the southern part of the U.S., a lot of them came from Ghana. So most of these countries have visa-free status for Ghanaians because of the fact that they know that we are their ancestry. That's where they came from. What is also unique is that our first president, or the leader, or the founding president of Ghana, was trained in the U.S. Most francophone countries were trained in France. Most anglophone countries were trained in Britain. We were trained in the U.S. So we've always had a very close affinity to the U.S. And he went to Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. Then it was the only school that was allowed for black people to go to. So he was trained, and he spent time in Harlem. So there are a lot of connections with Ghana. Even if you look at our flag, the Marcus Garvey's Black Star is what is in our flag. The 5-pointed Marcus Garvey Black Star. You have the leader of the NAACP, the founder of the NAACP, Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois. He's buried in Ghana. George Padmore, buried in Ghana. So many people who are Pan-Africanists are buried in Ghana, or have had an impact. At independence, Malcolm X was there, Martin Luther King was there, Maya Angelou. Everybody and anybody who was of any importance in the black community was there. And we've kept that relationship throughout. And now we have the right of abode for people of African ancestry. So you can get citizenship through going through certain criteria. And a lot of people keep going back and forth. I'm sure you may have heard about people like Steve Harvey talking about going back to Ghana to go and live in Ghana. Stevie Wonder wanted to return to Ghana. It's because it feels just natural. It's home.
Yeah. Well, and that's fueled a lot of investment in entrepreneurs. From what I've been reading and everything, and Ghana is really turning into this hub of just entrepreneurs and starting businesses, and it's just been really, really so impressive to see. So it's just so cool, and I hope more people go and visit and just help keep you connected to the U.S. because that's just such a cool relationship.
Sure. Yeah, and I think it's because, like I said, the rule of law works a lot in Ghana. You're protected. There's Ghana Investment Promotion Center, which makes sure that if you invest your money, you are protected. You can repatriate your profits, and they even have a diaspora desk. And there's an Office of Diaspora Affairs in the Office of the President. It was opened about 6 years ago under the previous government as part of the Year of Return. I don't know whether you heard about the Year of Return, but in 2019, Ghana launched something called the Year of Return. And beyond that, there's a 10-year project called the Beyond the Return. And this is based on 400 years of the first slaves landing in America. And it's got a biblical basis, because it says in the good book that your brothers would wander in the desert for 400 years and after that go home. So we had a very epic year. And actually, there was a legislative instrument passed in the U.S. Congress to support the Year of Return. And Ghana was the only country on the continent that celebrated it. We're also the only country that celebrates Emancipation Day every year, 1st of August. Like you have in the Caribbean, it happens in Ghana. So there's a lot of similarities, a lot of parallels between the Caribbean, the United States, and Ghana. And that's what makes it quite a unique destination to really visit and to see.
Yeah. So we've talked a lot about the history, different cultural things. What can you tell me about the quality of the accommodations? What are hotels and resorts and the things like in Ghana?
Okay. So we have from 5-star hotels all the way down. So we have a Marriott, we have a Kempinski, we have a Movenpick. These are Kempinski and Movenpick are more of international, but not so conversant in the US. But when you go, it's called up a Kempinski. It's a 5-star deluxe brand that is known all over the world. Movenpick is part of that core group. It's a 5-star hotel. We have a Marriott. It's not a 5-point Marriott, not a Marriott Marquis, but it's a Marriott, like a basic Marriott, 5-star. We have 4-star hotels. We have international class 4-star hotels. We have even in Kumasi, we have 4-star hotels. In Cape Coast, Elmina, we have 3-star hotels. But all the hotels we use for our clients, and even to mid-range hotels, but all the hotels we use in Ghana are air-conditioned, have hot and cold water, so hot and cold water showers. All of them have good Wi-Fi in the hotels, good breakfast, clean linen. So the standards are there. We would not use below a mid-range hotel, so mid-range to 3-star and 4-star and 5-star. So we're able to accommodate every kind of clientele in Ghana. Those who are so inclined and want to even stay in maybe less like 2-star hotels and the like. We even have those that are air conditioned. They have hot and cold water in the bath, so that you don't have to have a cold shower. You have clean sheets. You have good security, and security is always good. And all the hotels we use have not just hotels; they also have some kind of recreational, either a pool or a gym or something like that. So the hotel accommodation options are there, and they're available, and they meet international standards.
Yeah. Because you want to be outside and enjoy. Because your weather is pretty nice most of the year, isn't it?
It is. We are an all year round sunshine destination. We have a rainy season and a dry season, but we are located in a very, very unique part of West Africa, where the rains are very light. You have heavy rains as you go eastwards of West Africa towards Nigeria and towards Cameroon and Central Africa. You have very tropical monsoon rains and the like. If you go towards Liberia, Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia and the like, it's also very tropical downpours and the like. We're in a very unique area. You're
in this perfect little pocket.
Yes. and as you may have heard, we're in the center of the world. Mm-hmm. So just talk about the weather. I'll come back to why the center of the world. I mean, so even during the rainy season, which happens over the summer months, which are the peak months. So people wonder how come it's a peak month, because it's the coolest months of the year, but the rains usually happen overnight.
Ah, perfect. So if you're touring, you don't care. You're sleeping.
Yes. So you're sleeping, and it might rain around 7 or 8 p.m. overnight when the weather drops and there's enough condensation. Then it happens early morning. So by the time you wake up, it's fresh. It might be wet, but it's fresh. But I mean, that's just 4 months of the year, 3-4 months of the year. But with the modern with the change of weather patterns, we don't even have much rains happening. So we're an all year round destination, really, really all year round destination, a sunshine destination. And yes, we have pristine beaches you can enjoy. We have very, very unique mountain ranges you can hike on and the like, and a part of the culture and the history. And we give our clients very unique experiences. Like I mentioned at some point about the different stages of life that are marked. You know, when a child is born in Ghana, the child you're not just born and called Bethany from day one. You're kept indoors for the first 6 days. On the 7th day, you're outdoored. There's an outdooring ceremony. And this outdooring ceremony is also a naming ceremony. It's based on in the historical past, when there were a lot of diseases and the like. So most kids died within the first, or babies died within the first 3-4. Yes. So if you survive the first week, then we could bring you out. And from this ceremony, you have the families of the father, families of the mother coming together to get give the child a name. And you know, it's very unique. But we are one of the about 50% of the population of Ghana are what we call the Akan people, and the Akan people have what they call day names. So, like my name Kwame means Saturday born boy. If I was a girl, I would be called Ama. So there are days of the week, and each of the days have a very unique aspect or very unique, should I say, attribute of God. to it. So we are protectors and defenders. I'm not surprised that I find myself in this business protecting and defending tourists and making sure they have a good time in Ghana. So, but you'd wonder, so if I had two Saturday borns in the same family, what would happen? There's also something called a family name, and we have something called the ancestral name. So you may have what we call a European or Christian name. So you may be called Patrick, Kwame, your brother may also be called Kwame. You have what they call an ancestral name because we believe that life is a continuum. In our culture, in our tradition, we believe that we are reborn and recycled into the world. So you don't just die. So you want to live a good life. You want to live a life where you are revered and people are named after you as an ancestor.
Oh, that's very cool.
So you have your ancestral name, which is the middle name that will differentiate between the two Kwames in the same family, because we're all going to have the same family name. But one will be called Kwame Amache, one will be called Kwame, maybe Kwame Bunsu or something. There'll be, and the name of the ancestor after an ancestor is not based on how wealthy they were or what, but it's their moral persuasion or what they did for the community.
The impact they left.
The impact they left. And so everybody strives to do that in their way of life.
That's awesome. And then for guests visiting, they can actually participate in the naming ceremony,
yes,
correct?
we do. And sometimes what we're able to participate in most is the funeral ceremonies because there's always somebody dying. Might not necessarily always have
You might not always have a birth, yeah.
Yes, but we always have a death.
That takes longer.
Yes. But what it is that it's not just there are so many aspects of a funeral ceremony in Ghana. And you see most of people in either black or in red and black. But beyond, there's so much tradition around it. There, if maybe, depending on the ethnic group you're from, there might be some traditional rites that have to be performed before you're buried. But it's not a 2-hour thing. From Friday, you go to a wakekeeping. It's a vigil. Saturday, people come and pass by and pay their respects. You're taken to church. From church, you're taken to the cemetery. Or if you're cremated, you cremate. Very few people get cremated though. You're cremated or you're buried. Then the whole funeral actually starts. There's a whole
The
process.
whole after.
After, yes. That's what we call actually the funeral. This is when people come and pay their respects, come and give donations, come and tell what you've done for them. So everybody wants to have that kind of recognition. Even though they are not there to listen, it makes their family feel comforted that, okay, actually, Kwame made an impact here or there. And then Sunday you go to church as a Thanksgiving service. So it's a whole weekend affair. So when we say we go for a funeral in Ghana, it starts from Friday, sometimes to Sunday.
Yeah. So you're gone a bit.
Yes, so you have to block out the whole weekend, yes.
So that's awesome. What are some other festivals or more traditional things? Like I know we take them to craft villages. Can you talk a little bit about some of the very traditional things that people could experience there?
Okay, so Ghana, one thing about Ghana's uniqueness is that we've been able to keep our culture. And through our chieftaincy and our festivals, we have all year round festivals. Some festivals are to do with, similar like you have your Thanksgiving here, is to do with after a bad famine, there was plentiful harvest. Some of them have to do with migration. Like, for example, the people of the eastern part of Ghana, who are called the Volta region, who migrated from a tyrannical king in present-day Benin, Kinakokoli. So it talks about how they escaped. There's a whole festival around that. There are festivals based around the King of Ashanti, and the Akan people, which held every 42 days, based on purification of the stools, so of the golden stool and of the traditional stool. So every 42 days there's a festival among the Akan people. So every 6 weeks on a Sunday there's a festival. So we sometimes get some of these packages to coincide with the Adai festival, and it's all. But by and large, depending on whatever the reason why there is a festival, it always culminates with a lot of pomp and pageantry. The chiefs come out with all their regalia, the gold. There's a lot of drumming and dancing, a lot of color, a lot of tradition, and it's a spectacle to behold. A spectacle to behold. I mean, it's just it's better experience than told about, And we've kept these traditions over the years. And that's one thing that makes Ghana very unique. So there are different festivals. Some are for maybe a particular, maybe there's something like the Yam Festival of the people of certain areas. That's people to do with the escape from a tyrannical king, have to do with purification of that kind of calendar is based on 6-week cycles. So every 6 weeks another year comes in. So there's purification of the year and that sort of thing. So there's so many festivals, and that's something that's unique about Ghana. Some have to do with maybe antelope hunting, have to do with maybe opening up the fishing season. There's so many festivals, and depending on what it is, we're able to offer to our clients and the like. Yeah.
Wonderful. And what would they experience if they visit like one of the craft villages?
A typical craft village we tend to go to about 3 main craft villages. One village is based on carvings. So we have different carvings so we have these tools, Shanti tools that are usually done in a lot of homes. We have sometimes things like maybe walking sticks that are traditionally made. Most of these trees, however, are trees that are like recycled trees, or like trees that are maybe replanted trees, because the original trees already are gone, but we do replanting and the like. So it's still environmentally sensitive in terms of what we do. There are unique artifacts and masks and the like that we find in this carving village. So the main profession of the people, or traditionally, was maybe just for wood carving, but over the years they've of course diversified and got into other crafts. There's another village or 2 villages that have to do with kente cloth. Kente, it's hand woven. It's a very unique multicolored cloth that is made from cotton yarn or silk yarn, depending on what it is. And it was initially worn just by royalty, but it's now possible to have either a strip. You see a lot of the HBCUs. Mm-hmm. What you see around their neck are kente strips, and kente comes from Ghana. So it tells you that all the HBCUs are recognizing that it comes from Ghana. And you may see certain things, certain symbols that look very funny. Sometimes you see like a bird turning with its beak to the back. And that's one of the classic about returning to your roots. It's called the Sankofa bird. You see Sankofa, or you hear Sankofa bird. There have been films around it about how you need to return to your roots and that kind of thing. There are some that are, we have what we call the Dinkra symbols. They are these based on African philosophical beliefs that have been passed on but have been documented. So it talks about the omnipotence of God in the Jinyami signs, returning to your roots in the Sankofa signs. Talks about the need for having a loving heart in terms of the Odo symbol, and some of them have to do with like even in our premier university in Ghana, it's got the that's my alma mater. The logo of the university has got like should I say the horns of a goat or a sheep with its horns. Mm-hmm. You know, and with some other a few other things that have been structured together, and it says that strength is in the head, it's not in the hand. So basically, so
this is perfect for college.
Yes, perfect for college. Yes, basically, and for example, the hall of residence where I was, the motto was "Qui multo datum," to whom that is given, much is given, much is expected. So we have a logo or something like that. It talks about the fact that sometimes you might see some of the symbols, the Adinkra symbols, ADINKRA, Adinkra symbols, and even some of the sororities and fraternities among the African American sororities, the Divine Nine. Mm-hmm. Some of their symbols take part of their roots from the Adinkra, the Adinkra symbol. Those are the Adinkra symbols, and they're actually African philosophical symbols that have been patented and are used. So a lot of things.
So that'd be really cool to see someone still making it, the traditional way today.
And it's done, and it's used for kente cloths are for celebration. Adinkra cloths from this town where they do the Adinkra, called in Tonso, are for Adinkra means farewell or bidding farewell. So they are for funerals, and they have these symbols in there, and they've been passed on from generation to generation, and actually been studied in universities, in the School of Arts and universities and that sort of thing. So that there's now a basis for it, and it's patented. So it's
very, very cool. So somebody can't just find it like online and be like, "Oh, I'm going to reproduce it here because you guys have patented it." That's very, very neat.
Yes, but you can use it, but you cannot recreate it. Or you cannot claim ownership of it. Mm-hmm. Yes, but we're very, very open about that. And yes.
Very cool. Now, a big question we always get is anywhere people are traveling to, they're always curious about the food. So what are some of the amazing things they would get to try in Ghana? Like, what are your favorite foods?
Okay. So one unique thing about Ghana is that we've got a very, very diverse culinary offering. A lot of countries in Africa have very monolithic diets, like in Southern Africa, it's more of maize. Mm-hmm. We have very diverse. So one of the very well known ones is it's called fufu. Fufu is made from plantain, green plantain, mm-hmm. and cassava. Cassava is looks like a potato, but it's a very long cassava that is made into a paste, a thick paste. And it's had with soup. Mm. It's a delicacy. And there are different types of soups. There's peanut-based soup. There's what we call light soup, which doesn't have any base. There's palm nut-based soup. There's green soup, which is made from spinach and the like. We have jollof. Jollof is originally from present-day Senegal Wolof, but it's been perfected by the Ghanaian people, and I don't know if you've heard about this famous jollof wars between Ghana and Nigeria, but Nigeria claims to have the best jollof, Ghana claims to have the best jollof, so jollof is another thing. We have things like black-eyed peas or black-eyed beans with plantain, ripe plantains, sweet plantains like you have in the Caribbean. The same things. So that's why I have rice and peas in Jamaica, because it's traditional. It started from the Ghana, so we have. But we have the rice and peas as wache. It's called wache. It's the few variants were added from Nigeria side, so it makes a bit different from the rice and peas. There's also the we call red, which is made up of the beans that are black-eyed peas made into a stew with the fried plantain. And so there are different options, and they are delicious.
You're right up my son's alley. The minute I heard peanut soup and then having the plantains and the cassava with it, that'd be his dream meal.
Yes, and we are typically our meals are buffet style for more than if there are more than 15 in a group, 10, 15 in a group, it's a buffet style. So we tend to have predominantly maybe two-thirds American or maybe continental food, so that those who don't have
things that are more recognizable, just like simple chicken,
baked chicken, fish, roasted chicken and the like, and some rices, different rices and vegetables and the like. But we always have a little bit of at least one or two Ghanaian dishes to try. Your hands, and it keeps changing.
We're going to go ahead and encourage everybody. When you go, you just need to be a little adventurous and try it. It sounds really, really good.
And, you know, and the food is cooked with the should I, if I can say, the tourist palate in mind. So not too spicy. What you'd maybe eat in a traditional home that would be very spicy is toned down, because we know that we are not used to spice in a certain level of spice amongst most of us in the US. So it's toned down to that. So it's done in a way that it's not going to be hot spicy, because that's going to make it almost impossible, give you the run. So it's
but if I like spicy, I just need to go out and find the right restaurant. So when I go, I'm going to have to ask you, because I do like spicy.
There's always also on the side, there's a ground pepper, hot pepper. There's I don't know what you call it, this hotter than Tabasco, but it's on the side. So you can decide to add it if you want to spice. But we don't just put it in. We put it on the side. So that, yes.
So they have the choice.
Yes, they have the choice.
Well, that's awesome. So thank you so much for your time today. Thank you so much for sharing with us. If there was one thing you could tell someone, you know, if they're thinking about going to Ghana and they're not sure, what would you encourage them with?
I think that Ghana must be on everybody's bucket list. Why? It's in the center of the world. Why do I say the center of the world? We have the Greenwich Meridian, longitude 0, going through Ghana. So Ghana is on GMT or UTC, and we're the nearest country to the equator that has a Greenwich Meridian. So technically, longitude 0 going through, latitude 0, the equator, we're in the center of the world. That's one reason. Another thing is Ghana is very, very friendly. The Ghanaians are very friendly, and it gives you a different perspective about what Africa is all about. And by going from place to place, you see such a diverse way of life that gives you makes you sit back, especially those who go when they are younger. It's had so much impact on a lot of people who go to Ghana at a young age. It stays in their heart. Most of them, I don't know if you heard about that the lady on the Artemis, the astronaut on the Artemis 2 voyage, spent a year in Ghana.
No, I didn't know that.
Well, you read her profile.
I'll have to read about that.
She has it boldly written that she spent a whole semester or a year in Ghana. And before they went out to space, she had things. She's showing the Ghana flag here and there. This was maybe she must have gone 20 years before, but it stayed in her heart. So it's not only about people of African American ancestry, but because most of the study abroad programs are actually not from HBCUs into Ghana, but they have a lot, and they have kept a lot of. It's had an impact on a lot of people, because the people feel welcome. The people feel that they are part of, they leave a part of Ghana with them.
Yeah, they become connected.
It's a genuine connection. And it's something that you must experience, especially for people of African American ancestry and Afro-Caribbean. This is something they must do, just like the Jews must go into Israel once in their lifetime, or the Muslims must go into
Mecca, into Umrah. Yeah.
Though this is not religious based, this is ethnic based, and it's something you must experience.
That's so awesome. That actually perfectly sums it up. So thank you again for being with us, Kwame, and thank you everybody for
Bethany.
watching. It's always fun to have you guys here with us or listening in. If you like what we're doing, go ahead and subscribe. You can give us a like or a review. And if you're interested in going to Ghana, please contact us and we'll be happy to get you there so you can build your own special connection.